What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this RWBY discussion. This time, Volume 8, Episode 11. Sorry, fucked up. Volume 8, Episode 12, Creation.
Did you mean to do that?
Nope. As I had a typo in my notes.
It's risky, dangerous, and nearly impossible, but it's still best plan they've got.
GG.
Was that a
It's a risk.
was that a thing?
Yes.
All right. I don't remember
Right
that.
below where it says RWBY Volume 8, Episode 12, Creation, it says it's risky, dangerous, and nearly impossible.
Yeah, the description. So I'm going to start off with my first impression of this episode. I think I enjoyed it, but it moves fucking fast this time. Whereas the last episode was just dragging.
I am in the same boat. I fucking loved this episode. I know you said you think. I fucking loved it. But it's almost like, oh shit, we're running the end of the volume. Fast forward. We spent way too much time with stupid shit. Now we got to get to the cool shit and we don't have enough time.
GG. I got mixed feelings myself. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff happened, but it was really fast. And a couple things that need some clarification. But yeah, I'll give it to the rest of the seats.
I think Mike and I are on the same wavelength, where it's like, well, isn't this like a massive gaping plot hole that doesn't make sense in this context?
We'll get to that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like,
anything you want to throw in, Trev?
I loved it, but I do have some questions about the episode.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
See, here's the biggest problem. Before we even get into this, you guys are trying to overthink things. These writers don't think about stuff, okay? You need to stop. You're overanalyzing.
But it's like
you're acting what you're thinking they can do too much.
So
they can't.
But it's not overthinking, I think, because it's like
No, I'm talking
specifically
perspective of the writers.
I know, but it's like we're not trying to overthink. I'm just saying it's like the episode has laid out these are the rules of thing X, and then they do something that breaks those rules.
No. You're overthinking it. You see, there's your problem.
You're not thinking four-dimensionally.
You know what? You're right.
You're not using portals.
So yeah, I need to be thinking with portals. That's it. There's going to be a lot of like little things that I'm not sure are nitpicks in this episode, or if it's just like an actual issue. But so let's get into it. We open up the episode with Grimm attacking the Atlas jets and just immediately ripping them apart, taking them down. Remember last season when the ships could like take the hits? That's a nitpick right there.
Yeah, the ships pretty much had their own aura.
Yeah. But Penny and crew, they're on their way to Ironwood, and Ironwood has a dust cannon made with his guns, and the bomb is being loaded onto an Atlas ship all the while.
That's pretty cool. But you did skip one part, and I want to talk about it.
Okay.
Why the fuck is that freaking whale still hanging there?
Oh, there's a whale there? I completely missed it.
Yes, the tail is still hanging off the side. You can still see the bones. It's still there.
Let me fucking get
he's
there.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, man. How long is that thing going to last? Is it beach? Is that what happened?
Yeah, and the bones are still definitely poking out of it.
I mean, if it's going to be like that, just have the whole thing carcass fall in the city below. Just... That's
well,
the bomb.
If it's Grimm, it should disappear.
Wait a second.
That's the whole thing.
So you guys remember when the Silver-Eyed Warrior, right?
Uh-huh.
His bones are still there. Now stay with me.
RWBY's bomb's a whale!
You said that once.
Yep, I made that joke already.
Whale whore! Sorry.
That's fine. It's so in the back of my mind now that I wasn't even looking for that.
I did like that gun, though.
Travis, you're thinking too hard.
I like the gun and I don't like the gun. It gets a little bit ahead, but I wish he'd used it.
You're talking about Ironwood's gun. I thought it was really cool. What I was trying to figure out is what is the difference between that and let's say like Elm's rocket launcher? What makes his so different? Is it a laser? Is it a plasma blast?
That's the thing we don't know.
Like, at one point, it looked like it was powering up to shoot something, but we never found out. It was
Is
like
it
a big.
Death Star?
I pictured it as like a penny laser blast, but who knows? But yeah, so the androids are loading up the bomb onto the ships. That way, they're going to threaten Mantle with it.
I mentioned something about this in the React. I was like, Connor, there's your androids loading up the bomb.
Yeah.
I think I said, "Holy fuck, he's actually going to do it."
Yeah, he's gonna do it.
GG.
But as they're loading up the bomb, one of them gets shot, and we discover it's Crow and Robin, and they've been detected in the hangar as a result of this attack. At which point, the Aesops get ordered to go deal with them, while Winter says that she will stay and protect the general.
So clearly, the shot from the hangar was to get their attention, and that's all that was.
Probably.
It was to split the team up or do something, just so they would go and help. That had to be it, right?
I'd assume so.
I mean, pretty much.
But I like that. What's his name? Vine. I like that you can tell there's something that he's really, really not liking what's going on. You can tell it. Because he's over there like, I'm just thinking about how this all came together and how we're here at this point now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of them are happy with how they've gotten there. But it's just like, they accept that at our current situation, this is what they believe to be the most prudent step to take.
Harriet is like the Aquos of this group.
Why?
Because she's just like, well, okay. Ironwood is the king. Okay, let's just say Ironwood's the king.
I know exactly.
And Ironwood. Okay, thank you. I'm like, God, can she just let up? Shit, get out of his ass, you brown noser.
I think she's still my favorite Aesop though of these four, of the remaining four.
At least she's
just most loyal for sure.
It 100% really is kind of the Aquos of the group, but I don't want to compare her to Aquos because what Aquos did was righteous. She's just a bitch.
You could argue what she's doing is righteous from her own perspective.
She has very strong. She has very strong, unwavering ideal, which is
She's
whatever her leader. Yeah, is extremely loyal, I would say.
Which is something Aquos and her share.
Yeah.
So, continuing on, Penny arrives in front of Ironwood. Winter puts shackles on her, and then when Ironwood goes to put a hand on Penny and thank her for what she's done, it's revealed that it's actually an Emerald illusion. So, Emerald's illusions hide sound, by the way?
I guess so.
Is that a thing now?
It could be an enhancement.
I just know that I love that part. I was like, what? I didn't expect it at all.
I didn't expect it either.
I'm sorry about that little giggle there. I didn't mean to do that.
Don't worry. No one's going after your man card for that. Don't worry.
It was a cough.
I'm with Travis. I thoroughly enjoyed the use of her quirk. Wow. The use of her semblance in that way. It was, I think, very unique, but it allowed for the ability to now let her be like, I legit am on your side of this. Please.
Well, that's going to be tested with Cinder. She was, this wasn't like her loyalty to Ironwood versus them. That's where I think her loyalty is really going to come into play.
I still think this is all just a play.
I would be so happy if it was. I don't think it is though.
Yeah. We'll see.
Man, I've got
the cards are there.
I've got little nitpicks I could do with Emerald Semblance usage here, but yeah, I wasn't expecting it, and I thought it was a clever use of it all. And then Emerald, Winter, Oz, and the remainings of Team Juniper, they all fight Ironwood. And the entire fight lasts like 20 seconds if you just focus on what's cut on Ironwood's side. And they hastily rush him down.
They broke his aura fast.
Yeah.
Unless unless the fucking magic wand shit that rod or whatever that Oscar has can like deal like 1d1000 damage, like I don't know.
I just don't think that people have as much aura in this that we give them credit for. I think.
Well, I
it's
think
more
it's
about-
just changed.
Yeah, it's more about them when they block stuff or if they miss entirely dodging and stuff. But now it's like you get hit 3 or 4 times and you're done.
Mm. And it is a cool fight scene of what happens on Ironwood's side. It's, everyone just rushes him down. They play on each other's strengths. Ironwood has a badass moment where he just fucking grabs the bull by the horns before he gets shot in the back.
That's pretty much it.
He's pretty much quickly taken down. Winter has her really cool anime moment, with the fucking slash and the like sheathing her sword as the after effect happens. That whole cliche.
Oh yeah, that was cool. I like that part.
But then we jump to the part of the fight that I hate so much, and that's what's going on with the Aesops. The Aesops jump into the hangar.
Okay, go ahead.
And they are immediately frozen by Marrow.
Fuck yeah!
I love that.
What do you hate about it?
What do I hate? Well, I think it makes complete sense. It's a smart decision. It's something he should really keep, on his mind more often. Hey, you remember the last fights he's been in and how he hasn't led with that? You remember when he fought Weiss and he just didn't use it? You remember when they were all in the fucking Ironwood room and he could have just said stay and they could have arrested them in there? He didn't use it. You remember when he fought Penny and he didn't fucking use it? I hate this fight, not because the fight itself is bad, not because it's a bad use of his semblance. I hate it because it has made it clear that the plot is the only thing that cares about your power level now. You are stupid, and you are powerless if you are not who the plot deems necessary to win this, to get to its next conclusion.
The only thing I could think of to maybe add some clarity to that at all, and I get what you're saying, because that's what I thought first right off the bat. I was like, I thought he only do it to one person at a time.
No, he's been able to do that to multiple people.
He's done it before to multiple.
We've known that for a while.
Now, how many people have we seen him do it to at once?
Like 8?
Like a whole crowd. Yeah.
Okay, so he's done it to 8. Okay, never mind then. I was thinking maybe he has a limit. Maybe he can only do it to 3 or so. But if it's been that much, then yeah, he should have said stop to all of RWBY's team that one time.
Mm-hmm. Or when there was Penny, when it was just her. Yeah, I guess you could make an argument of, oh, she's the maiden, she could have overpowered it. But it's clear that it's just the plot had to plot, and that was the reason why it is. I now, as much as I wish I could like Marrow, this makes me hate him more than it makes me like him.
GG.
Get out.
I literally have in my notes here, Marrow leads with his semblance. Fucking idiot.
GG.
That's how annoyed I was when I fucking saw this.
I thought that fight was cool though.
It was.
Not to look too far back.
It was.
Y'all see that Oscar staff move? Or the staff move?
Mm-hmm. It's exactly what he did to Cinder back in Volume 3.
Yeah. I was like, all right.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of nice little callbacks in the fight. But nice little fight. It just pissed me off a little bit. But then we literally cut back in time. We learn all of Team RWBY's plans to use the Staff of Creation to get their way. Winter ends up contacting Weiss about betraying Ironwood, and we discover that it was Winter and Marrow who were on the elevator of last episode that encountered Crow and Robin.
Yeah, what happened on the elevator was one of those favorite things that Zach loves so much. One of those goofy shit.
Yeah, literally, I made a comment. I'm like, we could tell where his eyes were looking. Why did you need to put the lines?
Yeah.
I was like, Zach's going to love that part. And then I just completely moved on to the next. I was like, okay, that's good.
Here, let me show you this here. There you go,
she did hack!
I was waiting for the joke to happen eventually.
Confirmed. Whatever.
So anyway, we go through the whole plan about how they're going to save all the Mantle citizens before Atlas can crash down. We learn that the spirit of the staff requires blueprints, very thorough blueprints, to be able to use his powers. And then pretty much we see that they were all just setting up everything that happened. And while the Ironwood fight and the Aesop's fight was happening, Penny and Team RWBY, they all go through the hole in the vault that was left in. Speaking of plot holes, that's a literal plot hole right there, by the way.
Yep.
It's like the hole in the Death Star.
Gee.
Why wouldn't you cover that shit up?
Yeah.
No.
Also, remember the relic, how it draws in Grimm and the schools were put there to protect it from the Grimm?
Guys,
And that's a
we
whole
talked
right in
about
there.
this early on. You're overthinking this.
No, but hey, one thing
That's
though.
true, Zach. I hadn't thought about that.
Can we assume that every one of the magic items has a genie
djinn.
or
Yes.
a djinn or
Yeah.
something?
That was something I
Yeah.
was curious about in the past, and I think we've talked about. But now this, I think, confirms it that all of them will.
Yeah.
Cool.
He was
What-
awkward. They showed his crotch a little bit more than they needed to.
Well, yeah. Hey, we'll get there, right? Right.
I mean, the lack thereof.
GG. Nah, real quick. So like, maybe this was just me, but like, anybody feel like the whole point of them like having Jean with her to increase her aura, was maybe not a great idea. I guess her aura couldn't decrease, but why would Jean continually need to, buff her aura?
Because the
Yeah.
virus was attacking her from the inside.
So okay, well, how about the whole fight in the duration of time that she would have taken the ship to get to the vault? Didn't they consider like at any point in between that the virus could have also taken over? So why didn't they send Jean like with Penny instead of have Jean be separated from Penny?
This makes sense to me.
Yeah, it
So
does
I was
make
kind of
sense.
confused.
Your
like, why
argument
they
is
did
fair.
that.
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
John to be with the other team because he's their leader and Ruby's the leader. I don't know.
And that's
It's just a
probably it
side.
right there. That's probably it exactly. But anyway, we see Team Juniper's arrived in the broadcast station while Team RWBY has laid their hands on the staff. We also see that a very quick cut that Weiss is bringing Ironwood to prison, and Jacques is still in there. And
Rest in peace.
she touches the staff, doesn't need to call out his name, just touches it, and that causes everything to happen. And that's when we see the spirit of the staff. And yeah, he is exactly how you described. He's just like Jin, but a lady. Or sorry, but not a lady.
He's in transition.
I mean, he could be for all we know. I am curious if there's going to be something more important about the spirits of the lamp. Like, maybe not more important, but anything that's like a reference to why they look the way they do, to why they are the people that they are, why they have their own personality quirks. Like, were they maybe the old, like, greatest X of their time? Like, was he the greatest craftsman before the fall of the world? Was Jin the greatest librarian? Shit like that.
I had a similar thought. Yeah, I was like, maybe they're from the old world.
But we do then learn his name, Ambrosius. So, it doesn't quite roll off the tongue as well as Jin. That might have its meaning within itself. As ambrosia, I know, is a thing, though I don't know what it is. So anyway, he starts talking to them. He starts mocking the floating city that he last made. And Team RWBY reveals their plan to save Penny from the virus. They are going to turn her into a real girl by separating the robot parts, therefore the virus, and her soul.
Yeah, that's how it works.
So I guess there's not a 3 limit with this guy then, right?
Does not seem like it.
Nah, just use it as much as you want.
But I have some issues with this, and this is like one of the bigger like plot holes. So before he ends up actually making her into the real girl, he does have the line where it says, "I just want you to know, I will give you exactly what you asked for, and I don't want any complaining."
So what do you think that means?
Well, that's going to be the question, right? There's got to be something more ominous that's at work here.
Yeah, I have questions about the aftermath of the creation also, but I will wait until you get to that point.
Yeah, well, he has that one ominous line. We can talk about it all right then and there.
I personally don't think there's anything. They were pretty damn specific with Penny, though.
Well, but how specific can you get? They brought up her mechanical specs. That doesn't explain the human aspect that they created.
Yeah, I analyzed it is in as much detail as I thought was necessary, which was pretty deep because they get too specific. For me, it was far too specific than what was needed. Even though I get it, like he needs very specific details. How much time did they have, and who here has knowledge of technology to this level?
They had
Give me any
less
kind of
than an
specific-
hour between the arrival here at the Staff of Creation and when Ironwood gave his ultimatum. So that is less than an hour for where they formed this entire plan with all of their blueprints and everything.
I was like, no, like, all right, so they have some intelligent people there, but I don't think to this much detail. So they specifically said, all right, let's make a new version of her using the exact same robot parts, exact same / existing, which they use interchangeably, which would mean you would make another Penny. But they also said Arias, he also mentioned his own version of her because he's creating something, so he's gonna add his touch, I guess, is what he. But to make an exact copy and she look different is that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, you can't use the same parts and come out with something different unless you change things.
Yeah, I was
On
gonna say,
top-
didn't he make her a real girl? Isn't that the whole thing here? Like she's human now, right? 'Cause
Supposedly.
she said that it felt warm when she gave the hug.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so like supposedly she's human, which is following the line of Pinocchio.
Yeah, exactly.
But when does he turn into a donkey?
Before he turns into a human.
Right? I'm asking the real questions here.
You're thinking about you're overthinking it, Zach.
Ugh, damn it.
Rip.
Fell into my own trap.
So
Yeah, second part's the soul. It's an artificial soul, right?
yeah,
So
is Pietro like dead? Did that somehow
I was
happen?
like, exactly. And I was like, okay, so wasn't this built from Pietro's soul? And I was like, well, okay, so like, what is gonna happen now? Or like, like, what does this mean exactly? Flat hole.
Well, the other
like,
part
okay.
to me was, so he moved her from this body to this body. Did the Winter Maiden stay with the computer body and die
That's
and
also
go
a
to
question.
somebody else now?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I want to. I want to know that. Like, does she still have the Winter Maiden powders? That wasn't explained. Also,
Need answers.
is she just? Does she have anything at all? Like, does she have a semblance?
Who knows? Maybe.
Like, I'll leave that as that because I say if you saw my notes right now, like I looked at this like 10 times, going over every detail to feel like what's happening here.
Yeah. But he does it. He makes Penny into a real girl, and there are two halves of her now: the robot virus side and the real girl side. And despite the own rules that they just implemented, clearly what happened doesn't quite make sense. So we're gonna
My
see
theory
whatever
was-
happens, or just accept it at face value.
My theory was, aside from that, I don't think it's correct because it's like, all right, if he created a new version of her, I guess during the soul transfer process or whatever, when we saw like her other body crumble away, that was her soul completely transferring. Since they were like, I don't know what's gonna happen if I take her soul out, and I guess okay, if your body doesn't have a soul, then your body is going to disintegrate. Not a great theory, but I was like, I got nothing really else to even within this enclosed instance to give that any any bearing. So I was like, whatever.
See, this is where I just didn't overthink it. I'm going to let things happen. In the end, I think Penny's still going to die. In this case, the real Penny, because Robot Penny's potentially dead now, which she is.
Real quick before we leave that thought of her dying, I would love it if she just like hopped off a building thinking she could fly.
Rip. GG.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, but she's a maiden, so did she keep the maiden
That's
powers?
true. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about
Good
the maiden
question.
powers. I
We
was
don't
just
know.
thinking about her jet boots.
But did she keep the maiden
Who
powers?
knows?
That's a question.
Technically, she died.
That's what I said. Yeah.
I imagine it's just going to end up being a happy. This is exactly how a happy Disney story would go, kind of a situation. But
Yeah.
It's still just weird to put rules there.
I assume that if she did die and that did count, it would have went to Ruby because she literally said, "I'll give the powers to Ruby." So if that was the case, wouldn't Ruby have the powers at that point?
Maybe. But that doesn't mean she was thinking of RWBY when she did actually, quote-unquote, die. She was being affected by the virus while it was happening, so who knows? Mind could have thought of going to Salem. Mind could have thought of nobody but herself, in which case it would go to someone random. But she probably still has it.
Well, her mind was thinking about herself. If you think about that, self-terminate.
Mm-hmm. So who knows? But as soon as Penny's new body is made, the rest of Atlas shakes, and the staff is no longer holding up the city. Only gravity dust is doing that now. Team Juniper goes to send out their message to Mantle, but it very quickly gets cut off. Who do we think's responsible?
Obviously, it's Winter.
Exactly.
She's went on the council for nothing.
See, I don't know. Personally, I think it's because of the staff. I believe the staff potentially powered and was the main source of, well, frankly, almost everything for that for Atlas.
Well, then why are the energy shields still up holding the prisoners?
Well, you're overthinking it.
Oh my god!
I think you're underthinking this one.
I don't know. It could have been Neo. She could have shut it down.
That's
pretty sure it was Watts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense too, but.
We then cut to Winter, who was bringing Ironwood to prison. Or was brought Ironwood to prison. He's now unconscious on the bed, even though he was walking not too long ago. I don't know. Jacques begs Winter not to leave him, which she says, "Don't worry, we won't." But it was Weiss's decision.
Ooh.
I don't love you, Daddy. I don't love you no more.
GG.
Yeah, at least Weiss is being somewhat good. That's at least, she's been one of the better people on Team RWBY right now, so I'm happy to see that. Cut back to Team RWBY. Real Penny opens her eyes, and the robot Penny starts falling apart like an evil possessed puppet. Why? Why does it fall apart?
It's so that's the only thing I can think of was like, all right, this is it. Like, this is what he's talking about. The effect that he didn't know what would happen if you move a soul out of his body. But I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I really am disappointed that it wasn't like, oh, this is still Robot Penny here, and now she's just got the virus. Now she's gonna try and kill you all. I really wish we could have seen that.
Yeah.
It was just self-terminate.
But it didn't.
Actually, that is
subjective.
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't.
It opened the vault.
I guess
that was the objective.
I guess that was the objective.
Open the vault.
Okay, yeah.
Open the vault and self-terminate. Yep.
I have an issue with something later on, but
Penny then goes to hug RWBY, and she says the whole, "Oh, it's warm. Is this what hugs always feel like?" And starts going to hug Weiss and yada yada. And Weiss calls back the spirit, as they now have a plan to make magic.
I'm not done with you.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
They have a plan to make magic doorways that bend space-time to get people in Mantle from A to B into a vault-like dimension. Techno-babble, whatever. They provide schematics that seem... I don't know, we can't read them, so we'll just assume they make sense. And then the spirit says, "You kids are either smarter or much more foolish than you realize."
The part that was real ominous, once again, he says something ominous, is don't let anybody fall off.
That's after he starts making the doorways and everything. He says, "Do not fall," specifically.
Yeah, so who falls?
No, yeah, exactly. So it's like, he must have one of these things he says after every single time he creates something.
Maybe.
It's like, all right, but it's not going to be, if it's not what you want, don't get mad at me, and stuff like that.
He's a true genie. That's what he is. He's a true djinn.
I want every single plan to backfire.
Every time someone walks through them, they lose their soul. They're They're all going to turn into Grimm.
GG.
But he very quickly looks at the blueprints they have, makes it up. Magic doorways start to appear in Mantle, and the people start going through. At the very least, we see one of the Happy Huntresses poke their head through, and then everyone's getting ready to go through.
You had a problem with that.
Yeah.
So you know how kingdom-wide communication got cut off?
Uh-huh.
You know, before this happened?
Uh-huh.
And now time is frozen, and when it got unfrozen, you know, it was still in that same instance. So my question is, why would you just walk through a random portal? I feel like people wouldn't just walk through a random portal, especially after. Oh, sorry.
I can forgive this one because it's like you're being faced with bomb the city, portal to anywhere.
See, and I am in the exact same boat as Connor's. This one, I'm giving this one a pass.
Yeah,
I'm the oddball. Cause I'd be like, no.
this is Ironwood's doing. Get away from it. Get away.
Flaming golden portal. What can go wrong, right?
Magic doesn't exist. What if you use your semblance to look through?
Well, and if you in that next scene, if you notice, a lot of them are looking at the doorway like unsure. Like they have their hands on their chin, like what the fuck is this? Some of them have their arms crossed, like I don't know about this. A lot of them look nervous. Some of them look constipated. The only reason why I know this is because I'm literally looking at the picture right now.
Yeah.
This guy's holding his stomach like he's gonna throw up. I mean,
yeah, being scared of magic doorways, I think that makes sense in my book. But I'm just saying, faced with the alternative, I still think I'd go through.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know. This is me, because I'm like, all right, well, how do I know this is actually true? Right? Which, I mean, it was. You know, we have metagame knowledge, but yeah, like under the circumstances with everything that was happening, you know, I don't know. I just feel like I probably wouldn't immediately jump through that portal like that fast. Portal opens up. All right, I'm going.
Yeah.
It makes sense for the Happy Huntress, though. He's like, well, I might as well check.
Yeah,
Like-
let me be the one to check. All right, so I guess her is the spirit. Like, let me check this out.
Or her. Yeah. I mean, going through, that's the only one that was like that. But we didn't necessarily see any of the other ones go through yet. The Happy Huntresses may say, all right, everybody, you know, follow us. I don't know. I just feel like they should have inclined them on the fucking opinion or on the plan too. That was one of my bigger complaints is like,
Well, they did try
you know-
to. I think that's what the plan was for Jean, but then it got cut off.
yeah, but before.
Well, but then they would have
Like-
spoiled it for Ironwood. Oh, but you mean like before they touched the staff kind of a thing?
What I'm talking about is in the planning phase. Hey, Happy Huntresses,
Oh,
here's what we're doing. If you see this happen, it's us.
all right, yeah, that
Walk
makes sense.
through. Like,
Yeah, that makes sense to me. So then, before he does give the ominous "Do not fall" warning, we do see Penny's body fade away.
that was my biggest issue. Is she a Grimm?
Yeah,
Like,
like what happened there?
well, he did say without disintegrate, or without spirit, it would disintegrate or whatever.
Did he say
oh,
that?
did he? Oh, I missed
Well,
that then.
he said what would he said he doesn't know what would happen if a body existed without a soul, and then that's what I was talking about, where I was like, well, maybe this is what he was talking about.
Oh. Well, that still doesn't make sense to me, in which case that's just stupid. It's a robot. It's no longer a body without a soul. It's a machine. It's an android.
I don't know, man. It's because artificial soul. I don't know how this technology works, and I can't I can't wrap my head around that because they don't kind of explain it. I can only make inferences and guess because I have no idea. You know, giving us we don't get enough context clues to even know if that's is this supposed to happen? Can this happen like this?
Yeah.
But what else?
But yeah, that's when he gives his warning about the central location, do not fall. So I feel like they're all just going to like walk out of the main exit and they're just going to be in the sky. But who
I'm thinking
knows?
I thought maybe he meant the area they're all walking into where the portals are.
That could
I
also
don't
be.
fall in there. And what I'm thinking is, my theory is they all going to walk in there and Cinder's just going to be like, hey everybody, boom, and just knock everybody the fuck
And
off.
it could be a pun, because he says do not fall, but Cinder's last name is Fall, so it could be a direct reference to Cinder Fall.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's more of a reference to
I mean, you're
don't
probably
fall into the
right.
black void.
You're probably right.
No,
But clearly someone's gonna fall. I mean, come on.
I hope so many of them do. This is gonna be the last episode of or season of RWBY where I follow the creators on Twitter and everything like that, because I'm so sick of seeing things. They're like, "This is gonna be the darkest season of RWBY yet." It's like, well, is it? Because if it's not darker, like incredibly darker, these next episodes, I don't believe you.
Yeah, something
getting tired.
bad's gotta happen.
I follow a lot of the voice actors for the characters, and a lot of the ones that are like Rooster Teeth employees that I don't give a fuck about, but they're the voice actors. I was like, fuck it, I'll follow them. They're like, I worked so hard on this episode. The whole team, it's amazing. And you said one fucking line, and you're useless the rest of the season. Shut the fuck up.
GG.
Like, I get it. You're proud of your work, but stop overhyping this episode. Like, you're trying to, it's the whole thing. Just like, I am so proud of the production Rooster Teeth. I get it. You're employed by these people. You want to talk highly of it. You're probably told you need to talk highly of it. But for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'm having expectations now that I think are hampering my enjoyment of the series because of that. So if nothing incredibly dark happens in this next, I think the next episode is actually the final episode. Then I'm just gonna stop following everyone involving RWBY. I'm just gonna focus on my own and see if maybe next season I'll enjoy it better with that. I forgot to say the central location's in Vacuo, so that's how they're getting to Vacuo real quick.
Which is like,
oh, maybe if they fall, they'll end up like randomly around the universe. Maybe that's what like it's saying, or around the world.
Or they'll just fall into nothingness.
I'd enjoy that more, but I can't imagine that I'm going to get what I want.
Boy, that would be dark.
And then it's revealed that Cinder's in the crowd with Mantle. The episode's over. Yeah, I like the gins so far. They're all pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this one. He's probably not giving enough credit. He seems like a true genie. Like a genie is not going to give you what you want unless you tell him exactly what you want. Even when you tell him exactly what you want, he's going to find a way to put a loophole in there. And I'm kind of like I want to see something happen there. I want to see like that one small detail that you left out.
Turns out Penny's actually not a real girl. As I was also, there are like other little things. Like I kind of half wanted Penny to have like muscle atrophy because it was like her brand new body and didn't actually have muscles. I would have enjoyed her like having to be carried out. Little things like that I wanted that I think would have made sense and all that just didn't happen.
I just want to present a theory I have, So, if this theory is correct, in line with what they just did with Penny's soul, and she's not even she has an artificial soul. In theory, Pyrrha's soul could be brought back into a machine.
Shut the fuck
up. Power of creation from a crustacean.
I cannot bring people back from the dead.
Yeah. But he also said a soul cannot exist without a body. But look what we have here. He transferred a soul, took it out of the body, and the body existed.
Maybe Pyrrha's soul is inside Cinder.
Pyrrha's soul is in that statue.
And in addition, Oz was dead. His soul was brought back from the dead. Now, if it's correct, and if this is the power of the gods, technically that would not be creating a soul. He said he cannot create a soul. You could transfer a soul.
True.
You could create a body to put a soul.
So Pyrrha's dead, Mike. I think we just need to accept that fact,
right.
And then let it lie.
5 volumes.
If Pyrrha comes back, I'm gonna fucking be done with this show.
I'll back them 100%.
So it's like lackluster of the stuff we've been talking about. I really did enjoy this episode.
Mhm.
It's probably one of my favorites. Which I don't know if you want to slide into ratings and stuff, but like,
Yeah, we'll give it.
Let's do it.
I fucking loved it.
Well, we'll do ratings here then. So Zach,
Alright.
how much did you love it?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. 9.5. You know what? 9.5. There were things that.
You need to pick 9 or 10. I'm not putting in the decimal for you.
All right, I'll put it in 9. 9 out of 10. There are things that definitely could have been better. I think if the fight scene with Ironwood had been longer, I would have given it a 10. Are we going into bests now?
No, everyone's gonna give their rating.
Okay.
Travis, how about you?
I'm gonna give it a 8
Okay.
because there were things that were kind of nitpicky for me, and things that I wish that they would have done more on, and things they would have focused less on, kind of thing. But overall, it was a great episode.
Mike.
Yeah, I have to give it. The only reason it's getting an 8 is because Penny. There you go. Because it was the same. It was I guess I'll call it nitpicking, but they were just like small gaps that I need that to make a little bit more sense, or at least something I can wrap my head around and be like, oh, okay, they'll give me something later. Yeah, I got my hopes up, I guess.
No, I'll give it a 7. I said I enjoyed this episode, but I had a lot of nitpicks. I can't even argue it's nitpicks. There were a lot of plot holes and literal holes. And fuck you, Marrow. All right, best boy, best girl. How many are you gonna piss me off?
Best boy, I'm gonna give it to the Ambrosia, or what's his name?
Yeah,
Ambrosius.
I just thought he was really cool. I liked him. I know that people thought he was said he was kind of weird and quirky, but I thought it was a cool character, and I just liked the way he worked. And then number 2, yeah, I'm gonna give it to Winter. Sorry, Mike. Winter came through for me on this episode. She did exactly what I've wanted her to do for a long time.
That is fair.
And you got to see her smile in this episode. I mean, come on.
Best boy. I'm honestly gonna probably give this to Ironwood to get in that 6v1, and handle yourself the way they did, even though it was rushed. A man did not get smoked immediately. He fought for a little bit, got put down. And then if you look later in that episode when he's locked up, do you see that defeated face? Do you see that broken will? Best boy. All right, and then best girl Penny. All right.
I want you to know real quick, that wasn't Travis leaving. That was me leaving.
GG.
Yeah, so you didn't hear the sound effect come through my end, but Zach left there as soon as he said Ironwood.
All right, my best boy, I'm going to give it to Marrow. I actually really enjoyed Marrow, and you solidified it by saying fuck Marrow. So I'm going with Marrow. Although I really did enjoy Oscar and just kind of his I'm going to fucking take you down now, Ironwood. I helped create you. I'm going to bring you back down kind of Oz aspect of looking at things. But best girl, I'm going to give it to Weiss. I think she took a leadership role with Team RWBY, where RWBY was focused on her friend as Penny, but Weiss was like, here's what you're fucking doing, Genie. Boom. So.
All right, fair enough. I'm going to also give it to Ambrosius.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the only character I can't nitpick or criticize. And Ironwood got though Ironwood fucking grabbed that bull by the horns, he still got his ass handed to him.
Hell yeah, he did. Because he sucks. Who's your best girl?
I'm thinking. I don't know who my best girl is for this one.
Really? There were some that I mean, the ones who did things: Winter, Weiss. You could argue Penny has an opportunity. You could argue Ruby a little bit.
I mean, but what did they do?
I mean, Weiss. The reason I chose Weiss is because she is the one who took charge with the genie. That is why I did it.
That's such a terrible reason, though, for her.
What
and
other
Ruby.
reason could I have? What other reason could I have in this episode?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I'm saying that there's not really
Emerald.
a good moment for a lot of the characters. Yeah,
Emerald's
Emerald's a
use of
good
her
one.
quirk.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna give it to Virus Penny.
You're gonna give it to Virus Penny.
Yeah.
GG.
So it's still Penny. It's okay.
I couldn't clean that up, but you get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did him. Ooh, they did him so dirty. But why Virus Penny? Why did she get it over regular Penny?
I just don't believe that that's really Penny. Scientifically, it doesn't make sense that can really be Penny. And I don't know. She didn't really do anything in the episode even then, other than just hug some people. Like, I'm happy for her, but that doesn't make her best girl. And not that Virus Penny really did anything either, but I don't know. Maybe I should change it. Fuck it. I'll give it to Emerald. That'll be my real answer. Alright, so that makes the average rating for this episode an 8. The average best boy, Ambrosius, and no conclusive best girl this episode.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's because it was Penny. I understand.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you for the next one. Well, thank you for watching. Remember to hit that like button if you want to see more content like this. And if you want to see what the rest of our channel has to offer, be sure to subscribe. Looking for any ways to support us? Well, we currently aren't monetizable through YouTube. We do have a Patreon and even a merch store, so be sure to check those out. All of the links to these things are right in the description down below. And last but not least, we'll see you next time.